upon the greatest Nigerian student, great Bo, great Ba, fundamental Gigi, Aluta Continua. This is a World Press Conference that is being aired to you from the National Association of Nigerian Students. Firstly, I want to commend Nigerian students for their doggedity, for their due cooperation in promotion education in Bayelsa State, in Zone B, and Nigeria at large. I would like to take this kind means to appreciate critical stakeholders of the zone that have contributed a lot to the success of this great union. I also want to commend and salute Nigerian students that are here with me on this World Press Conference for us to articulate issues of concern that has affected Nigerian students in Bayelsa State. I also want to appreciate the zonal executives that are here, gentlemen of the press, and great supporters of education in Bayelsa State and Nigeria at large. Upon the greatest Nigerian students. Great. Going further, the reason for this press conference is for us to have a liaison phase on how we can promote education in Bayelsa State and Nigeria at large. I am Comrade Kings Tamara Priye, the Assistant Secretary General, National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS Zone B, South South and Southeast, and the 001 Bayelsa State, which is a zonal representative. And I will equally use this kind means to highlight the student leaders and critical leaders that are here with me on this standing order of the press. On my immediate right is the Public Relations Officer of the National Association of Nigerian Students. And on my immediate left is the SUG President of Bayelsa State College of Technology, Bicotech, Otuogidi. And they have joined us on this press briefing for us to really articulate issues affecting Nigerian students. And also, teaming Nigerian students from the various campuses are also here for us to really articulate issues of concern to Nigerian students. Going further, I would like to touchlight the areas of concern as I firstly send forth my word note and kind note of appreciation to Bayelsa State government for its educational strive in the Bayelsa State. And I also want to commend the Ministry of Education, ably led by Honorable Gento E. Imela, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, for its educational strive in Bayelsa State, which has echoed loud without doubt in Bayelsa State. The Bayelsa State government indeed have contributed a lot in these 2 years, of stay in office. And some of the things I would like to highlight, which I will, on behalf of Nigerian students, would like to commend the Bayelsa State government as a whole. Firstly, is the reducing of average annual enrollment, completion, and transition rates in Bayelsa State. And this is a good one, and it's worth commendable that Bayelsa State government took this high take of ensuring that. Going further, we would also like to commend the Bayelsa State government for ensuring teachers' quality needs by involving reskilling and upskilling of teachers, which has given a face and competence to Nigerian teachers, competence to Bayelsa State teachers, for them to give back quality education, for them to melt the true essence of education to Nigerian students. We want to really commend the Bayelsa State government and the Ministry of Education for ensuring that. Going further, we would still like to use this kind means, this noble medium, to appreciate the Bayelsa State government and the Ministry for Education for ensuring that school infrastructure development and environment upgradation. Indeed, the infrastructure development on schools, it is indeed overwhelmed to Nigerian students. The attention that has been given to Nigerian students, we are indeed overwhelmed. We have seen an infrastructure development to our primary schools. You can go to the secondary school, we are indeed overwhelmed. And I want to really commend the proactive step of the Commissioner for Education for what he has done so far. We have followed him keenly. We saw his activeness to ensure that there is a face in the educational sector in Bayelsa State. Also want to appreciate the Bayelsa State government for training of 12,000 teachers on critical skills and about 90,000 public secondary school students on e-learning capabilities, which has given a face for Bayelsa State students to come to the front line of the ICT, which is a digital world. For us, we are really excited as Nigerian students, as the leadership of National Association of Nigerian Students. We are indeed excited, and we want to give kudos to Bayelsa State government. It's worth commendable. Going further, we also want to commend the Bayelsa State government for initiating the Bayelsa State Tertiary Higher Institution Loan Board, and which has rescued a lot of students for them to pay their tuition fees. A lot of students, because of school fees crisis, have left school, have dropped out of schools. Some have gone to the streets, which have involved themselves on critical issues before now. But because of the wise application of the Bayelsa State government and the Ministry for Education precisely, the Education Board was initiated. And I also want to appreciate the secretary of the Bayelsa State Loan Board, a person of Dr. Mike Berry, for his strives in ensuring that there is a free stake, that a system that is free from favoritism for Nigerian students, Bayelsa State students in concentration to benefit from this loan board. And indeed, it's worth commendable to Bayelsa State government because it's first of its kind in Nigeria. And now today, the Nigeria country as a whole is talking about that. And other countries are also planning to initiate this noble move of Bayelsa State government. And I want to really appreciate the Bayelsa State government for giving a face to Bayelsa State as a whole, which has placed a front line to Bayelsa State. But our areas, or the reason for this press conference, the reason for this attention, is that our greatest concern as National Association of Nigerian Students, our greatest concern is the fairness for the dividend of education to be in proper position. And it is very displeasing for me to state or note that Nigerian students of the Bayelsa State Polytechnic Alebri, and Nigerian students of the Bayelsa State College of Technology, Otogidi, and also another affected school is the Isaac Jasper College of Education, Isaac Jasper Borough College of Education, IJBCO, which has also been affected. But on the standing ground, they are on exams. They are affected, but indirectly they are on exams. But our greatest concern is that there has been an action of strike in Bayelsa State. And up to this very moment, since last year to this very moment, Bayelsa State government have not deemed it fit to call upon these Nigerian students to return back to campus, and which is very appalling to National Association of Nigerian Students. We are registering our displeasure on the current stand. And because of the current displeasure, the pressure on us from Nigerian students, which we have come off all forces to remain calm, to see how we can give the benefit of that to Bayelsa State government, to see how we give the benefit of that to the Ministry of Education, for them to swing into action to return Nigerian students back to campus. But up to this moment, they have not returned Nigerian students back to campus. And National Association of Nigerian Students, for us to maintain harmony, peace, and unity, we had an interface with the actions and authorities of concern which has been affected. The authorities of concern which went to this action that affected Nigerian students. And permit me to make a quote and a reference of the resolution of the meeting we had with the said authorities, and for us to get the prompt reason for their actions. Upon the meeting which we had yesterday, we were able to meet with Reverend Comrade Aduba Okilo Fred. He is a Bayelsa State Polytechnic Chairman ASUP, who also doubled as the Chairman of Higher Institutions Joint Action Committee, and other ASUP bodies of this affected school. We have met with them to hear their opinion, why Nigerian students are kept outside, why Nigerian students are being placed to be at home, owing to the fact that Bayelsa State government is a government that loves education. And it has given a great concern to us as leadership of National Association of Nigerian Students. Going further, on the resolution of what we were told, the information and the fact file that we have that prompted this strike for Nigerian students to be at home to this very moment, that there is no society, before I glance forth to the issues of concern that has prompted this, let me further quote this, that there is no society that can develop without education. I further bring to your notice that an educated society is always a strong society. An educated Bayelsa will always remain as a strong Bayelsa. So going further, so the issues of concern that has prompted for this strike to this very moment, from 2015 to 2018, they said, and I quote categorically, that there has not been no promotion of staffs in the higher institution, and that has led to this current action of strike that has kept Nigerian students out of campus, that has kept Nigerian students for them to be denied of education, and which is very disheartening. Going further, we have really highlighted that the said authorities, the said staffs that have been affected by this action, that went for this action rather, that they were meant to be like a bulldog that had no teeth that can hold it back. They were meant to be, because why? The authorities of concern refused to give them attention. But they have given the said authorities benefit of that in this very moment. And the benefit of that to them, it has expired. That's why they went for the action of the strike. And to further quote, from that 2015 to 2018, the 2015 to 2018, there has not been any promotion, implementation for promotion. And you agree with me that there is no way someone will work to ensure a success of a system without being promoted. Promotion is an avenue to show a thought of appreciation on issues of concern in educational development on higher institutions. Now, our greatest concern on the area is that from the 2015 to 2018, because they saw that there was an election, these said authorities that have been affected were invited for negotiation. In the eve of the 2019 election, they were invited for a negotiation. To our greatest surprise, because we all know that it's a way of politics, they were able to implement the promotion. And these said staffs were promoted. They were able to express the breath of fresh air of promotion for that once in 2019. I quote, in 2019. Now, from 2019 to 2022, this said issue of 2015 to 2018 started during the time of Chief Honorable Henry Serake Dixon. During his time, during his government, this issue has been on ground. Now, from 2019 to 2022, there have not been any promotion of staffs of higher institutions. And this said higher institutions are giving benefit of that to this very moment. And to another great concern, that you agree with me that some schools have been relocated. You agree with me that some schools have been relocated from different locations to another. We could cite an example of the IJB code that was relocated. We are taken from Brass down to Sabama local government, the headquarters of Sabama local government. You saw that there was a relocation. And the educational system made a provision that when there is a location of institution, there is what we call location allowance, which is inconvenience fee that is paid to these said authorities. It is very appalling to state that up to this very moment, these said fees have not paid to these institutions. And that has resulted to this current strike. And also, to further highlight that there was a notice of a minimum wage introduced by the government, by the Nigerian state government. And the Bayelsa state government gave a consideration of this 18,000 naira, which we are very pleased. But the bone of contention that went to this side, which we have heard from these said authorities, is that even the said 18,000 minimum wage, which was expected to be considered, that 13 months have not been paid, that the Bayelsa state government is owing them 13 months. And how can these services be appreciated? There is no promotion fee, no promotion allowance, and the one they have worked for, which is the 18,000 minimum wage, which is being considered, said that there is an instruction given to this effect. The Bayelsa state government has not deemed fit to still pay this money of 18,000 minimum wage, which is they are still owing the said authorities 13 months. Going further, the Nigerian state government introduced 30,000 naira minimum wage again, and up to this very moment, I am really displeased to bring to the notice of Nigerian students. I am really displeased to bring to the notice of Bayelsa State. I am really displeased to bring to the notice of Nigeria. I am really displeased to bring to the notice of the world that Bayelsa State government have not implemented the new minimum wage of 30,000 naira up to this very moment. That has affected Nigerian students to be out of campus. And as National Station of Nigerian students, we will not give commendation to this. We appreciate the Bayelsa State government that they are giving attention to primary schools and other schools of concern. We are also appreciating them for giving attention to higher institutions. But this area of concern that has kept Nigerian students out of campus to this very moment, it is something we will not take lightly. We will not subscribe to it. So we are calling the necessary authorities to please swing into action. We are calling upon the Bayelsa State government to please swing into action. And going further, the new minimum wage, which is 30,000 naira, should please be on the side of consideration to these said staffs that have been affected. Now, to our greatest shock is that the government of the day didn't feel that they want to settle this issue, but they made establishment of a committee to oversee the process. A committee was firstly formed by the government to see how they will share the said problems, to see how they can resolve the issues. Up to this very moment, the said committee that was formed took about 1 year to see how they will be able to look into these issues. The Bayelsa State government, which I know that loves education, cannot do this. So we are appealing to them. They should give it a consideration. They have said again, set up another committee. That committee is not well to the task. They set up another committee, and the committee was being headed by the secretary of Bayelsa State to see how they will be able to share it in action. To our greatest surprise, after meeting these said action teams, ASUP and that of Action Committee of Higher Institutions, being briefed that since the point which they went on this said action strike, they have not been invited to have an interface with the government. It was during this time of the 2 years anniversary that the Bayelsa State government deemed fit to give them an invitation to come over to see how they can present the document they have as evidence of their demands. Now, to the displeasing fact is that after setting up this committee, the Bayelsa State government is coming again to tell the affected action groups that they will have to set up another committee that will look into the implementation of this said demands of these said groups. And the implication of this said new committee that will be formed, it will take longer time for Nigerian students to stay at home. And remember, the more Nigerian students are staying at home, the more the essence and the true essence of education is degrading in Bayelsa State. Without fear or favor, I am articulating to this point that the Bayelsa State government, we are appealing on behalf of the National Association of Nigerian Students, we are appealing to Bayelsa State government to please swing into action to see how they can return Nigerian students back to campus. There is no society that can move forward without education. And remember the implication of this strike that will continue to keep Nigerian students out of campus. The more Nigerian students will be able to stay out of campus, the more Nigerian students will stay at home. It will promote social vices, which we are campaigning against, which the Bayelsa State government is working assiduously to curb, for us to manage the current peaceful nature we have in terms of social vices occurrence in the state. I'm appealing to Bayelsa State government to please return the said Nigerian students back to campus and to see how they can meet with the said affected institutions and how they can implement the new minimum wage and how they can implement the new minimum wage and see how they can promote the said staffs. I will meet with the said staffs and the said unions that have been affected. We are quite abreast, we are quite aware that the demands of these said groups, the Bayelsa State government cannot meet all the demands. So we met them and we asked them, what are really the demands that can be met, that can be subscribed to before you can return our members to campus? And the chairman of the Higher Institution Action Committee, a person of Comrade Okilo, categorically stated that if the government can meet up these two demands, then Nigerian students will return back to campus. And the two demands, I state, the two demands, number one, is for the implementation of the new minimum wage. I state again, implementation of the new minimum wage. Number two, promotion of staffs. I know that it's not too much to ask from the Bayelsa State government. I won't allow them to suffer this long. So we are appealing to Bayelsa State government to please meet up this demand and this cry of these said groups, of these said committees, of these said action groups, of these said institutions, of these said staffs that have been affected. Failure to do this, I want to drop this note. Failure to do this, I will kindly note that failure to do this, Nigerian students, National Station of Nigerian Students, NANS, Zone B Secretariat, will be relocated to Bayelsa State. I note, failure to do this in the next 48 hours of the Bayelsa State government to meet with these said authorities. I quote again, and I bring to notice of the general public and the Bayelsa State government. Failure to do this in the next 48 hours of the Bayelsa State government to meet with the said authorities to return back our students back to campus. Failure to do so, we shall occupy and make Bayelsa State the Secretariat of NANS Zone B. And as student community, we are going to occupy all the streets. We are going to occupy all the youths of Bayelsa State to ensure that our students return back to campus. We are quite aware by the infrastructure development and other strives of the Bayelsa State government. We are indeed pleased about the strives in the infrastructure development of roads and other areas. But we are really pleased. We want to say we are glad that the state is celebrating the 2 years anniversary. And on behalf of the National Station of Nigerian Students, we want to join and celebrate with the Bayelsa State government for this 2 years anniversary, for this unwavering stand of governance administration, for this unwavering stand of good governance to Bayelsa State government, for this unwavering stand of prosperity to citizens of Bayelsa State. But we are appealing that our apply should be given appropriate and immediate attention. On this note, I will drop my note of articulation on this note. So long live National Station of Nigerian Students, long live the National Station of Nigerian Students Bayelsa State Axis, and long live Bayelsa State. A luta continua. Victoria Sata. Soli, 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 solidarity forever. Soli, solidarity forever. Soli, solidarity forever. We must always fight for our rights. Soli, 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 solidarity forever. Soli, solidarity forever. Soli, solidarity forever. We must always fight for our rights. Upon the greatest Nigerian student, grace. Upon the greatest Nigerian student, grace. Unintimidated Nigerian student, grace. Great Gbogbo, Great Gbagba, fundamental Gigi.
Yeah. Our management has been affected for a long period, and students are not on campus, meaning that even the final year student has been affected. And this day for yesterday, which is on Monday, we're supposed to sit at exam hall, but based on this strike, we are not on section. We are still sitting down at home. What my boss man have said, they have given the government 48 hours to call upon the Nigerian student back to campus. And another thing again, that even our year one student has been affected based on this strike. And there are so other many students that are supposed to go for NYC, but they are still sitting down at home. Even the year one students, they have been affected. So we are pleading that the government should look upon the NANS and to call the strike off so that we can go back to campus.
Came here to lend voice to the cryings and the tears and the yearnings of the Nigerian students in Bayelsa State. Yesterday, we had a meeting with the Higher Institution Joint Action Committee here, and we listened carefully to what they demanded. And these are points that the government can as well meet up. One of the things they said they needed was promotion, which is right. The other was the delay in payment of the 18,000 minimum wage, which is almost 2 years ago. And again, the 30,000 naira minimum wage that is ongoing, which is obtainable. And then we have Nigerian students staying at home. 2 campuses staying at home. This is a delay in destiny. For instance, we have students who come back to get their result or certificate for a job interview, and then do not have access to this. Like the ASG has rightly said, we will not say much. I came as the mouthpiece of the zone to also lend voice and also tell the government that please, they should do what we have demanded. We cannot cut short destinies in issues like this. This is an impediment. You see, students staying at home is, I would not say it is evil, but then it looks like evil, keeping a Nigerian student at home. You see, when we have a student stay at home, you are now promoting social vices. A student who is at home would now look for some way to go, maybe involved in something that is not right. I wouldn't want to say so many things, but please, the government of the day should adhere to the yearnings and the demands of the Nigerian student. But if after 48 hours these demands are not met, the demands are very simple. I think they are simple. Or the government should please call on the two unions. They should go on a dialogue. Our demands is, please, whatever the government should do, however the government can do it, please, they should return students to campus. Thank you very much.